Hi. I'm delighted to be here, delighted to be in New York, and even more so to be talking about Irish design. So hopefully I can work this. Is there looks like a very simple... short film about Irish design. Thank you. So just to, I suppose, tell you where this initiative came from. So the Global Irish Economic Forum was held this time last year, and out of that came the idea of holding a year of Irish design. So what we've planned is a very ambitious, wide-reaching and innovative programme, and it's across the entire year, and it's a north-south initiative. And it's celebrating Irish design in just about every form. So we're looking at showcasing Irish design with signature events across the entire island of Ireland, but also in key international cities of design and commerce. And of course, that includes New York, Chicago, London, Paris, Milan, Eindhoven, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. So when we're looking at design, we're taking a very wide view of design, and you can see here from this particular clip what some of you might have seen as traditional forms of design, so fashion, textiles, ceramics, glass, but the year also is about celebrating and showcasing how good we are in relation to medical devices, engineering, architecture, graphic, landscape. So it's a very, very broad disciplinary bandwidth. We've just been designated as, or Dublin has been designated World Design Hub by the International Association of Designers, and that's a great accolade to have for 2015. So what you're going to see across the year is kind of an international campaign showcasing the very best of Irish design. We have a very simple toolkit to make this happen, and that's, I suppose, from a national and an international perspective. So that's hosting global design summit, conferences, a whole programme of exhibitions in Dublin and in Kilkenny and across Ireland. And that's bringing in world-renowned exhibitions from London Design Museum, the Vitra in Germany, from the V&A, from the Museum of Art and Design in New York, and also then commissioning our own fantastic exhibitions, and that we'd like to see those travelling then into 2016 into other well-known areas. There's going to be, I suppose, a regional hub created across Ireland. There's going to be a lot of work done in relation to education and redefining or redesigning education in terms of design, and that whole piece of education through to enterprise. We're also looking at hosting a very significant, what we call a design innovation fund, and actually the closing date for that was this week, where we've got over 350 applications from designers and design practitioners across Ireland in terms of what they would like to see developed through talks, through educational programmes, through exhibitions, through developing hubs across the country. So, as I mentioned, there's a national and an international dimension to this year. And a key part of that is really working on a partnership basis. This came out of the Global Irish Economic Forum. It's been led by the Department of Jobs, Enterprise and Innovation in conjunction with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade and Enterprise Ireland. And the Design and Crafts Council of Ireland has been asked to convene the year. However, we've had significant buy-in across Ireland in terms of how that's going to happen. The OPW have given us a beautiful gallery space in Dublin Castle for the entire year. We're working with them in relation to hosting 6 different international conferences. We're working with the DAA, so I'm sure you're all familiar with the Faces of Ireland as you travel through Dublin Airport. They are coming down as of this week, and the faces of designers and makers throughout Ireland, so over 400 images will be throughout Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. We're working with partners such as Fall to Ireland, with Tourism Ireland, with the Embassy Network, obviously with Enterprise Ireland, but with the IIBN. So any of you here that see an opportunity or a way to engage with us, please talk to us. So in relation to the international programme, what I just want to concentrate is what's happening in America, so in relation to New York and Chicago. So our first, I suppose, thing that we're going to be doing in New York is going to be part of New York by Design, and that's in May of this year. And we will be bringing a flagship exhibition charting the history of design in Ireland from the Eileen Gray to the Kilkenny Design Workshops to the here and now. We will also be working with partners such as Parsons. We're having conversations with the Cooper Hewitt, with the National Museum of Art and Design, in terms of showcasing some elements of Irish designers during the year. We're also working with Enterprise Ireland in relation to New York Now, which is a gift and trade fair that's held in August. And we're also having conversations about hosting a fashion show in February of this year. So lots going on, but I suppose the key piece about this is that it has to be embedded in commerce. So at the same time, we have an international trade fund to encourage designers and makers to come here to export. And we're working with Enterprise Ireland in terms of having a number of trade missions that will support the various sectors. The likes of the Chicago Architectural Biennale is the first year ever to have this, and we will have an Irish representation. What we're planning to do is to, again, host a built environment conference or networking event prior to the event, the Chicago Biennale, and then have a trade mission. So I suppose the real kind of focus across the year is going to be around design weeks, fashion weeks, and architectural biennales, but developing strategies across the different disciplines. So within the built environment, we're working with Engineers Ireland, with the architects, the IAF and the RIA, with the planners and with the landscape architects, to come up with a joint approach in how we really maximise what's going to be an important year for Irish design. So I just want to give you a flavour, I suppose, of what I'm talking about. So in terms of architectural design, here in New York, Kevin Roach is a well-known designer, and you may recognise those buildings. So the Ford Foundation Building and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Dublin Airport, Terminal 2, was developed by the engineers Arup. You'll recognise some of the work here. Don O'Neill. But Orla Kiley has a shop on Mercer Street in New York. And then a lot of you will be familiar with Philip Tracy in terms of fashion design. Film and animation. The costume design is by Joan Bergen. Cartoon Saloon, The Secret of Kells. Oscar statues designed by Cedric Gibbons. So in terms of packaging, you've got Originate Creative, Brand Union, Creative Inc., all great designers coming out of Ireland. In furniture and lighting, the fabulous Joseph Walsh, who's opening an exhibition in New York next Thursday. Lights there by Denta Design. And then craft, our iconic Joe Hogan, master basket maker, Una Burke, and with the beautiful leatherware, and Jack Doherty. Onto medical devices, the design partners. So really it is to show what we can do and what we're achieving. And in fact, one of our own was responsible for a particularly iconic building in the United States. So you may recognise James Hoban. So that kind of gives you a flavour of Irish Design 2015. So we have a great team here, a team of experts that are based in, some are based in New York, but all are working in New York. So I'm just going to get each of them to introduce themselves. So Greg, if I start with you.
Thanks, Karen, and thanks to the IABN for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Greg O'Gorman. I'm the Marketing Director for the Kilkenny Group. We have 13 stores nationwide in Ireland. We have 2 restaurants, and we have an online store, kilkennyshop.com. Ironically, over the last number of years, our sales have more than doubled through the recession, which is surprising, but I think it reflects the demand that's out there domestically and internationally for Irish design. We've been able to open up a lot of new stores in Ireland, and as a result create a lot more awareness of Irish design, which people are really enjoying. Our big opportunity going into 2015 is that we plan to launch in the US in February or March of next year. It's not with a bricks and mortar store, it's digitally with kilkennyshop.com. We've done a lot of research, and we believe that the Irish design and the very best of Irish design is transferable from Ireland to an international forum, and we believe the demand is very much out there for Irish design, and we hope to be able to bring that across from Ireland to the US and further afield. Thank you.
Greg. Thank you. Melissa?
Hello. 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 Thanks to the IABN for inviting me here. I'm very privileged. I'm the founder and designer of the Melissa Curry Jewellery bespoke brand. I have 2 avenues. I mainly work with boutiques. It's a very boutique-led luxury business. I was based in Paris for a number of years, and now I'm operating from Dublin. It's challenging, but there's an amazing team of Irish ambassadors all over the world, which certainly links and makes it all much more possible. Yes.
Thank you, Melissa.
This is number 5 microphone. Oh, it's on. Great. Okay, my name is Antonia Reilly, and I'm a fashion designer. I graduated from NCAD many years ago, and I have lived in 3 fashion capitals, Paris, Tokyo, and New York. I've worked for a lot of different design companies, from luxury down to mass retail, for Karl Lagerfeld in Paris, for Oscar de la Renta, who sadly passed away earlier just a couple of months ago, to some of mass all across the US, Sears Holdings and Walmart. I think this is a fantastic undertaking to have Design 2015 happen across the globe. I love the fact that IABN have included creative as a conversation into their network and into today's conference, so thank you for that. And now I am a consultant, and I work with individuals, mid and large size companies, and help them understand the US retail market, and also between Ireland and Europe, actually, and the US. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Claire McGovern. I am an interior designer, also an art consultant. I dare I say it, I've been here for 17 years. I moved from Dublin to San Francisco initially. I started with my business with an art and design gallery. during the 5 years I ran that in San Francisco, got quite invested in the idea of presenting more of a 21st century understanding of Irish design and art. Opened an office in New York in 2007, and so my business consists of interior design, art consulting, custom furniture pieces, and also recently I've gotten quite involved in launching very high-end luxury design companies, bringing high-end luxury design to market in the US and internationally.
Thanks, Claire.
Hi, my name is Don O'Neill. I'm a designer. I'm the creative director of Theia. Theia is an international evening wear and bridal company that is sold worldwide with an average sales of between $10 and $15 million a year. I was educated in Dublin, worked in London, worked in Paris, and I have been here in New York for the past 21 years.
Thank you. I'm actually going to ask you the first question, Don. And that's really, I suppose, what are the core strengths that you feel Irish designers have in a global context?
Well, I think one of the strongest points, first of all, is our educational system. How the designers are being trained and educated in Ireland is extraordinary. I myself had a wonderful education, and there were great building blocks that I learned 30-odd years ago. And I have a constant stream of young interns that are coming out to New York to gain experience in the summer times. And what I'm seeing from them is the same skill sets that they're learning, the same passion, the same drive. And I think what's coming out of Ireland is truly extraordinary.
Well, that's a fantastic kind of response and a real kind of impetus to work for Irish Design 2015. But Antonio, Claire and Don, all of you moved over here. You've seen the challenges. I suppose for people looking to come over to the States, what are the main challenges, Antonio, that you would see that they would need to address or overcome?
You know, for a lot of the people that I in addition to Don saying he has the interns, we do meet a lot of people here coming out of school wanting to know, how do I break in? How do I make it work for myself? When I got here first, I had already so much experience. I felt a lot of experience behind me under my belt in Paris and Tokyo, and I came here and realized, wow, I knew nothing about the American industry. And I was, kind of shocked that I had all this experience, but I was being told, well, you just don't have any American industry experience, which was like a bit of a blinder on me. So I think as much as we have a really great education system, I really agree with Don on that. Being adaptable to understanding the differences between how the industry works here. There's specialty brands, there's department stores, there's mass, there's so many streams, and also within the industry. It's not just design, there's colour, there's styling, there's production, there's raw materials, there's so much more that I don't think we really were able to cover everything, at college. And I do think that one of the biggest struggles was really not having a network here. The alumni from the art colleges it hasn't even really started, I believe, in comparison to the business schools. So not having the kind of support and the structured alumni and a formal structure for, people who are just coming here to kind of understand the industry, that's one thing.
Thank you. Claire, I don't know whether this is something that you've, but in terms of being based over here and then trying to work back home, so kind of going the opposite direction. So is that something that you've a lot of experience in, or has it been easy, or so going the other way around instead of exporting, you're exporting back to Ireland?
Right. I have, my business is pretty much exclusively focused on the US market right now, and certainly plans to maybe bring some furniture designs to Ireland, work again, in interior design in Dublin. But I haven't, officially travelled that route yet. My experience certainly coming to America was, you really, as an expat, you have to carve your own niche, and it's something that just takes time. I chose to launch an art and design gallery in San Francisco, and I very quickly realised that, it probably would have been a little bit easier for me to do that in Ireland, given the amazing funding climate that exists for the arts in Ireland. And basically in America, it's private patronage only, or corporate sponsorship if you can achieve that. Those are your options. So an amazing experience that taught me a lot, about certainly getting a business of any creative business off the ground in the US. And certainly one philosophy that I wanted to really champion as well during that time was developing more of a 21st century understanding of Irish design. So that, I think, I'm really excited about this upcoming year of design for Ireland. I think it's high time, and it's also something that one great focus and hopefully mission will be to bring more of a contemporary understanding to, I think, the American psyche. Because there is something about, working as an Irish designer here in the US that I certainly have railed against the very traditional concept of Irish design, potentially just being an Aran sweater and, the old man, the horse and the cart at the crossroads. So
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah.
Melissa, I know your background and the way you've built up your business has been very much about collaborations, and I just wanted to ask you, the value of the collaborations you've seen, and maybe tell us a little bit about them.
Yes, I had I had a fortunate experience. When I started out in 1996, I think, 1996, and my first step into the arena was at Paris Fashion Week in '98. And from that moment, I had a very lucky break. Liberty of London arrived on my stand, and all of a sudden, I was in their front of office and talking about their Millennium campaign. So I was propelled into a very interesting position, one I hadn't obviously calculated, and it was my first experience of collaboration. It made my work and made me feel diverse. It opened my eyes to what a team can do, how it all fits in, how they solve problems, how you become flexible, how you learn. So all of those, I guess, although those little parts are incredibly valuable to developing business in every respect. And I continue to do it.
I would agree wholeheartedly that collaboration is the key piece, and it's trying to get that on the ground for different designers coming through would be a very interesting model to look at. Greg, I suppose for me, I know the history of Kilkenny shop, and they're a fantastic flagship shop in Dublin, and you've got great plans for further afield. But what does design mean to your customers, or what does Irish design mean to your customers?
Well, firstly, I think that Irish design can sit alongside any of the world's top designers. I think the biggest challenge for it is the awareness that needs to be created, which I think the Year of Irish Design is going to do an awful lot for. So what does Irish design mean to our customers, and what does it mean to us as a company? Irish design represents innovation, it represents quality, it represents uniqueness. And a word that maybe wouldn't have been associated with Irish design previously, but I think it can be now, is that it's actually affordable. And I think maybe the recession has forced Irish designers to just look back on their business model, and they needed to become more affordable to compete over the last number of years with the amount of products coming into the country. So I think all of those factors for us is what makes up the very, very best of Irish design.
I know we're running out of time, so I'm just going to ask you all very briefly just to say, if there was one thing to come out of next year, what would that be? Greg?
For me, it's internationalising the awareness of Irish design.
Thank you. Melissa?
Awareness, absolutely, and support.
I would say connecting the dots globally, and then actions further than 2015, 2016, 2017, etc.
I would say subsidised, successful infrastructure for bringing design to the US.
I would agree with that. It would be awareness in Ireland and showing the upcoming designers the pathways in which they can spread their wings abroad.
Okay. I really want to thank the panel. I think it's all very well me coming in talking about Irish design, but these are the guys who are doing it on a day-to-day basis, really making it happen, and I think a round of applause is really deserved. Sorry, was there any questions, or are we time for questions? No. Okay.